In this episode of What Can I Grow from the Grocery Store, we're talking ginger and turmeric, two somewhat related root plants that have very similar planting and growing characteristics. While fresh ginger root can be found in many local produce departments, you may need to search out a local Indian grocery store to find fresh turmeric root. Planting either is as simple as pressing a section of root about 1 to 2 inches into the dirt and then waiting. Patience is vital, especially with ginger, which may take even 1 to 2 weeks to sprout. Turmeric, in my experience, is a bit quicker to sprout than ginger. Okay, looks to me like it's time to start a new series with turmeric. There's more turmeric. And with ginger. Check that out. Now, first let me tell you how I store my ginger and turmeric. I have this tray that I keep in my kitchen, sitting on the kitchen counter, and when I dig it up, I brush some of the dirt off of it, and I throw it in this tray and let it dry. These have been drying in this tray, sitting on my kitchen counter, since last fall when I dug them up. Now they've decided it's time to grow. We can't argue with them. First thing, the way you grow turmeric and ginger is the same thing. You go to the store, you buy yourself some ginger root. I think it's $3.49 a pound or some such nonsense. You bring it home and you take it and you just break it up into pieces. That piece, if it doesn't start growing, I will use it for something. This piece that's already starting to grow a bud right there, we take it and we shove it in the dirt. Brush some more dirt over top of it, and we're good to go. The turmeric, growing out of the end, it'll actually start growing from that bulb, and probably from both of those over there as well, and possibly even down at this end. But since we got one good one growing, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to take it and shove it in the dirt carefully, since it's already starting to grow, and cover it up. And that's it. We just planted ginger and turmeric. Got a few more to plant here. I've got a couple more pots set up for them. So I'm going to go ahead and get them planted, and then we'll have to wait. And I'll have to tell you right off the bat, we may have to wait a while. The first time I planted ginger, I planted it the same way I just showed you, and it was almost 3 months before anything came through the ground. Now that could have been timing, it could have been heat, I don't know. It was 90 degrees today. It's been hot all week. It's been hot all winter. I was growing tomatoes all winter. But anyway, this stuff wants to grow, so I have to help it. Actually, I just have to put it in dirt and get out of its way. We may have to wait for a little while before we see anything come up over here, and of course I'll water them in and everything. But I'm going to go ahead and plant these other guys, and pretty soon we'll probably have some ginger and turmeric popping out of the ground. Ladies and gentlemen, I did a clip this morning, and now I find I have to do another one because there's something coming up out of the ground right there. It's kind of difficult to see, but right there in the center of the video, that little blurry green thing, that's either ginger or turmeric. I won't know which one it is until it makes a little bit more of an appearance. But we got something growing already. Little teeny tiny thing. But it is definitely coming up out of the ground. We shall see what it is. Let's look at ginger and turmeric. There's our little itty bitty sprout. Still can't tell whether that's ginger or turmeric. Once it develops a little bit, we'll get a better idea. And over here we have another sprout. Looks just like the first one, so we shall see what happens. I hope it's ginger. I like the way they open their leaves. I think you'll like that once you get the chance to see it. Okay, there's our original number one. Still pretty sure that's turmeric. Basically the way turmeric grows, it'll grow up that little stalk, and then I don't know whether you can see the individual segments in it, but those individual segments will start peeling away and turn into leaves. Oh, what have we got here? We'll come back to him. There's our second candidate, about 3 inches tall now. There's our third candidate, about 1 inch tall. Back pot, oh, I don't see anything back there. But you notice I rearranged these things because this morning I noticed a little itty bitty spot of green coming out of the dirt in this pot. So I brought it to the front. Now I think this is going to be ginger, because I remember I planted 3 pots of turmeric and 2 pots of ginger. So it's going to be entertaining to watch this guy. If this turns out to be ginger, you're going to like the way ginger grows. It's really entertaining. We'll give it some time. Probably in a couple days we'll start seeing some real action coming up from it. But another thing I noticed this morning, I had 2 more ginger roots in my kitchen that were starting to grow on me, just laying in a dish on the kitchen counter. So I put them in the dirt back here. Each of these is going to be ginger, hopefully. Ginger and turmeric. There's some turmeric, that's happy. That's going to be going outside pretty soon too. That one in the back is liable to be going outside pretty soon too. And we have these guys. That guy's about 6 inches tall. This one down here is about 3 inches tall. I'm still want to believe that both of those are ginger, but I can't prove it. If you look real close, right there in the center of the screen is a little white dot. I know there's a bunch of little white dots in there, but one of them is kind of yellow white. And I did some exploring today, and that looks like the nub of a ginger that's fixing to come up. Hopefully we'll see that a little bit taller tomorrow. And there's another one right in here, if I can get it centered. I think that's, let me see. I think that's it right in the center. And it's starting to break through the surface. See, ginger and turmeric. You saw the 2 turmerics that are outside. Here we have a ginger that is growing, starting to slowly. That one's getting a little bit bigger. And I believe all of these are ginger. This one over here is not doing anything. But I ain't going to give up on it. I'm going to pretend to be patient. That one's growing pretty good. And back in the back we have our first leaf. That one's starting to put out leaves. They're not growing the way I saw the first ones grow that I planted. When the first ones that I planted, as the stem would come up, it would form a little loop, and it would actually pull the leaf out from the base of the stem. And then it would grow up a little bit, and it would form another loop and pull another leaf out. I'm not seeing that with these ones. These ones are growing straight up, and then the leaves are just unfolding, somewhat like the turmeric. But they are growing, and this is all just an experiment, so we're learning. I'm gonna get this in case it opens up too far before I get home tonight. You can see there a little bit of a gap in that ginger. What's happening is the first leaf is wrapped around the growing stem. The growing stem is now unzipping itself from the leaf so that it can go up and create a new leaf. This is what I was looking for when those first few started growing, and it never happened. But hopefully we'll get a better shot of it tonight. Turmeric and ginger. I'm not going outside because it's raining. Finally. I'm not complaining in the least. But there's nothing going on in here. This one's growing slowly. That one's putting out its second leaf now. Looks like it's going to start unzipping the leaf right there pretty soon. You can just barely start to see it. Here's an inside ginger update. Nothing's popping up in there yet. That guy's continuing to get a little bigger. That one is unzipping another leaf. See how they do that? It kind of pulls the part that is the skinny part to the left is actually the main stalk, the top. And it's pulling itself out of that leaf and forcing it to unwind. As you can see, the turmeric and ginger are both growing well. Unlike what I may have said earlier, it looks as if the majority of what I planted last fall has come up, along with the plants that I planted earlier in the videos and then replanted out here. I think one of those, maybe it was that one. I know those two gingers over there. And that right there was the big pot of turmeric that I had growing in a pot. Did I say that twice? Oh well, I'm going to wipe the audio anyway. So, what I've learned is, when I dig up my ginger and turmeric in the fall, I can go ahead and replant some of the roots immediately and just let them sit in the ground all winter, and then in the spring they will come back up and give me some more ginger and turmeric. Looking good. I'm going to have a whole boatload of turmeric this year. Looks like I should have a pretty good selection of ginger as well. In fact, it's going to all grow together like that down there. Be interesting. We'll see how it turns out.